What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about SoundHound, I want to go over some of the data points, break down what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 4.12%, largely piggybacking off of the absolute massacre that is happening in the market. 1044 is the low, 1140 is the high. So you can kind of see right here pre-market, and even once the market opened for 30 minutes, things were fine. Things were hunky-dory. Everything showed signs that it was going to move higher. And then you did have this. So quickly going over some of the data, you had existing home sales coming in a little bit lower than the forecast. So 4.08 versus 4.16. That, I think, in reality didn't really affect all that much. But a couple of things did come out that really spooked the market. And actually, it was kind of deja vu because on February the 7th, the market was relatively fine as well. And then you had data coming out and it just killed the momentum. And that data was this. So the Michigan consumer sentiment. So on February the 7th, it came in significantly lower, meaning that there's a good chance that inflation is going to increase. No different than this time around. So forecast came in at 67.8 and it came, or sorry, forecast was that, and then it came in at 64.7. So not that good whatsoever. And you can kind of just see based on this chart, it is signaling similar type of scenario to July 2024, meaning things might get worse before they get better. So that isn't what the market essentially wants to see. So you have FOMC minutes on Wednesday really pointing out a lot of fears associated to rising inflation. Then as well, you have Walmart. They unveiled their earnings, definitely signaled a lot of fear. But this is why I feel yesterday the market was acting somewhat realistic, and SoundHound actually did do a very good post on social media about that. And that was this right here. So I brought this up and why I liked it, but ultimately they are actually very accurate. So yes, even with inflation and let's say the labor market does get hit or whatever else, people are still going to go to places such as Taco Bell, McDonald's, and those entities are going to be looking to save money. One way to do that is to actually partner with SoundHound. And because even SoundHound is brought up in previous fireside chats, I believe it was Barclays, and they even stated hey, once companies realize that we can help them upsell and also cut expenses and avoid costly mistakes, they will partner with us. And I think with SoundHound, they've been really doing a lot of these good conferences and that they've been participating in, as you can kind of see right here at the Women in Restaurant Leadership Conference. Honestly, that is going to be a very big deal. So yes, there is a lot of fear in the market, which is causing pretty much everything to go down. But with their upcoming earnings coming right around the corner, this is a good potential opportunity to buy in. Of course, you do whatever floats your boat and stuff like that. But I see SoundHound not obviously exempt from any fears, but they're in the field of efficiency. And typically in times of contraction and high inflation, companies look to be more efficient and cut costs. So this is, again, where I think SoundHound could really stand out. But shorts, you also have them really pouncing over it. So right now they're increasing 1.11 million shares. If we look right here at that peak when that data did come out, they were increasing roughly around, it looks like 7 million shares. So once again, you have another day full of fun manipulation happening from shorts. So 30.48% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 100.33 million shares overall are being shorted. I know I mentioned their earnings, so in case you do not know, their earnings is slated for the 27th after the market does close. These are the current estimates. Nothing has changed for that, so again, just to kind of stay tuned. Aside from that though, looking at options, 3.25 million in calls, 2.43 in puts, and then 45% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. Of the call options that are being purchased, you still do see a good consensus for it to kind of recover to that 1250 range. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub next week is kind of crazy. So encumbering their earnings, they are anticipating for it to be around that $7 to $8 range. So definitely next week is going to be a fairly volatile week. This upcoming weekend, I'll go over all the details that you really want to pay attention to, but this right here is the open interest. So with today being Friday, you could always see some signs of manipulation and whatever else. So with it right now at 10 and change, you have 2,000 at that 10.50 and then 1,000 at that 10. So you're not going to see any crazy manipulation. If SoundHound does recover close to that 11, then you might see shorts wake up once again. So again, something to keep in mind. These are all the transactions that are occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So a good amount, and I've already done a couple other videos where I talk on different companies, and big money's not buying those companies. SoundHound at least is getting the attention still from big money, so that's kind of a positive thing. Dark pool, as per usual, is very active, so that is linked to shorting as well as just other large entities. But right now with a $10.37 trading between this S1 and this S2, so 10.02 is going to be the strong support. I don't see that being touched whatsoever today. And then flip side, 12.48 is going to be the next strong target / resistance point. So most likely it's just going to be stuck in limbo between these those 2 points. But on the actual chart itself, it is still below the pretty much the key points that I like to look at. So the ALMA right now, it is below the 100-day moving average, so this blue line right here, and also the 50. So signaling a little bit more consolidation. So it did fail to get above that point right here over the last couple of trading days. So again, on a technical standpoint, you might have a little bit of consolidation, but one thing to take note of is stochastic RSI is very oversold. So the first sign of weakness you could see, it's very oversold. So meaning that potentially you could see, if there's good news or something, you could see some value and people buying. So something to kind of keep in mind. So let me know generally your thoughts on SoundHound. Do you think my kind of thought pattern on what SoundHound offers to the table does make sense, or do you think that it is kind of due to get pulled back? I know one thing that the bears will bring up is the fact that SoundHound is not profitable. So obviously that does play a big part, but as they get more and more partnerships, that will just lead them towards profitability so much faster. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Give yourself a shout out if you are buying the fear today. Are you panicking like crazy? Are you selling, averaging down? What are you doing as far as SoundHound today? And then one final thing I just wanted to share with you. Pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.